Kevin, you missed the fuck out.
Grab my whiskey. I'm trying to get drunk.
We don't care what R. Kelly did.
Did I say anything racist this time?
You better get out of here, honky.
And now for something completely different.
Well, two honks and Kim just messing around. You'll never know what they talk about on two honks. Two honks and Kevin. You might hear something about the NBA. Maybe they'll just make your day on two honks. Two honks and Kevin. It's sports and life and family too. Let's all listen to two honks and a Kevin. Yeehaw! Crap my pants.
What's up, everybody? Oh man, welcome to another episode of Two Honks and Kevin. I am joined with Kevin. There is no Richard once again this week. What do you think? You think our boy just went to the woods and said, "I'm out"?
Yeah, he's over there looking at Woods life. Let's call him Tree Boy now.
Call him Tree Boy. Yeah, he doesn't like
to Tennessee.
I don't know. He said that he's going to a lake house, so I don't know. I know his ultimate goal is to have a lake house. I don't know if they have one on their own or if they have one that they just rent out or whatnot. So,
life. I ain't hating.
No, I ain't hating, dude. I ain't hating at all, man. I wish I was there right now. So yeah, shout out to Richard. Hope you're getting some good rest, some relaxation, and getting away from all the craziness that has hit home.
Man, I feel like Richard's been out for a couple times, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah, I know. This is 2 weeks in a row. Well, I think last week he had some family over. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Man, dude, I guess we can just get into it. This has been a pretty rough week for our state and our side of town. I've basically was raised on the south side, and the Greenwood Mall was and still is my mall. That's the mall that I've kind of been going to, for years, and it's probably obvious, and I'm sure all of our listeners know that there was a shooting at the Greenwood Mall on Sunday. Just real quick, I was actually pulling out of Costco, and there was a cop that almost hit me. I mean, he was just flying through the intersection. I was turning left on County Line, and it was around that time, so I can only assume that the cop was rushing to the mall at that time. So my wife and I were, just kind of out and about shopping, and you hear the news, and I mean, I don't know about you, Kevin, like what was your first reaction? I'll just say that. What was your first reaction when you heard it?
Well, I kind of heard of it late, and so when I heard about a shooting, I instantly think that maybe somebody's shooting in the parking lot, and it's like nothing, right?
Right.
But I mean, I just instantly think that it was kind of nothing. Like, I didn't expect anybody would get hurt or anything like that. I thought it was just a random shooting in the air or something like that. Somebody tried to be cool.
Right. Yeah, and I think my mother-in-law called Nika, and man, it's weird, dude. Like well, this one's kind of hit me in, I think, a few different ways, because it's like, it is local, it's very local. And, we keep hearing about all these different incidences that happen. And, I'd like to say they really don't hit at home, but then again, they do, because we just had a FedEx shooting, a couple, was that last year? Maybe.
I feel like that was 2 years ago. Like, that was during COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I don't personally know. I don't believe I personally know the person, but there was someone that it was a family member from people that we used to go to church with,
right.
That was one of the people that got killed. So, it keeps getting closer and closer to home, and like, in a way, I was kind of thinking about this today too. It's like, sometimes it's like we lock up our homes and all this stuff, but it's like that's almost the safest place right now.
It's to keep you get to stay out. Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah. It's just hold on. I think we're being joined by the one and only Jared Payton. Let me get this boy set up. There he is, the baller
My
himself.
dude got some
Sorry,
facial hair
sorry.
on him.
Had to go play some ball.
Yeah, I'm jealous once again. We just kind of started to get into it, Jared. We're obviously talking about the school shooting. I was kind of expressing the what?
Mall shootings. It's on summer break. I hope nobody's shooting up a school.
Oh, is that what I said? I'm sorry. Yeah. The mall shooting. I was just kind of expressing that, this one hits, I think, a little bit closer to home because it is closer to home. I think it's a mall that we all have been to many times, especially growing up, going to Perry Meridian. And, you never think we have, now it's a few days removed. We keep hearing about different people that we knew that was either at the mall, had just left the mall. There was one of our friends, some good friends of my parents. I believe their daughter was at her boyfriend's house, which lived underneath the murderer. Right. And he was trying to, if you guys don't know, he was also trying to blow up his apartment complex.
Yeah.
I didn't hear all this backstory. So
yeah.
Hold on. So when did he try to blow up his apartment?
So apparently before he left to go to the mall, he went to the mall. He was there for an hour and 2 minutes or whatever in the bathroom, which in that time, one of our friends' father was in that bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So while he was in the stall, of course, he had no idea, and then he came out and then they ended up leaving. And then it was like 2 or 3 minutes after that, they were getting the notifications that there was a, school shooting. So, but yeah, so before he left, apparently he put something on his laptop. It was some type of chemical and put it inside of his oven and turned it on. And apparently that was supposed to be an explosion.
And he put like those green butane containers that you would take camping.
The Coleman. Yeah.
He put one of those in there with the laptop and then turned it on like broil.
Wow. So he was obviously trying to do damage in multiple places. So, what's crazy about this shooting is, yes, it's so close to home, but we immediately turned our focus on a hero, a quote unquote hero. And unfortunately, and, I kind of appreciated what, Richard, he's out on the lake, so his communication hasn't been great. But really the one main comment he said was something to the effect of, oh, great. We're celebrating someone's, heroic. I can't remember how he worded it, but people still died is what I'm getting at. Right. Like people still died. I immediately felt like this became that's a good one that's one up for all the pro gun people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I turned it political at the snap of the news.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made me mad. And we all did. We all did. Everyone does, right? It immediately becomes, well, hell, that's why everyone is loaded. And even me, I immediately applauded, but I immediately applauded because it was like, this is the perfect situation of this is why I want people to carry.
It is.
But I want them to be responsible like this person. And I know that is an impossible ask, right? Like not everyone is going to be able to be that calm, cool, collective and take care of business in a couple shots in a couple seconds like this guy did, right? So
80%.
Right. 80% maybe.
Accurate.
Yeah, exactly. But look, he's a hero. He saved so many lives, potentially. Right. So, I don't know, man. It's a tough one.
But I kind of like Jared's comment two people in the mall that had guns that felt like they needed guns. Like, why do we feel like we need? Like, how do we get there as a society where people feel they have to carry? Like, you can't even be comfortable in the public. That's what sucks.
Because it's happened.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah.
That's it. And listen, and I'll probably go on a rant on this too. Like, you know, and I agree with this about the point, and I kind of wish Richard was here because I know he shares some of these feelings as far as like a teacher shouldn't have to worry about carrying a gun. A principal shouldn't have to, and all that, right? And I 100% do agree with that. But when our airports got attacked, we put security all over it, right? Our schools, our theaters, our churches, our malls, our places are being attacked, regardless of this, regardless of if guns should be illegal, if it should be harder to buy, regardless, this is happening. People used to rob banks all the time. Guess what? We made banks a hell of a lot more secure to where you're not gonna make it out alive, and you're probably not gonna get money. So don't even try. Yeah. This is where we're at, and it sucks. And we can try to eliminate all the guns, but we're not going to. We're not, because for one, as we all know, criminals are going to get the guns regardless. And you have to have.
But the point, I think, in the last three tragedies, bigger tragedies, this one in Greenwood, the 4th of July shooter, and the Uvalde guy, school shooter. Yeah. All three legally obtained the guns that they used in what happened. So
I get it. I get it. And I don't know how to control that. I don't. But, and we're definitely not going to do it overnight, right?
No.
And two of those three guys purchased it on a credit card, and they're just like 18, 19, 20. So
didn't two of them they have past instances?
What's that?
They had past instances where they've had like mental disorders or the guns taken away from them.
Yeah. But
really,
just if like to your point, Blake, if it was just a little bit harder, that he had to take a course to train, or if he had to do this, or just the same as you can't use a credit card to purchase lottery tickets, you maybe shouldn't be able to use a credit card to purchase a deadly weapon. I mean, I don't know. But if those things didn't happen, do we think that this 20-year-old would have been able to obtain and do this? It would have been much more difficult, and the percentages come down that he actually follows through with this. And
I agree. And we bring this up every time there's a mass shooting, but I just don't think it's as simple as ban the guns and get rid of the guns. Like, I don't like, it's not that I get
there's too many out there.
Yeah. Like,
you're never gonna,
that.
Yeah. But like,
at the same time, these kids, the last three have all been 21 and under. So like, these kids have all grown up in this society where like seeing these things in all the types of media, social media, movies, TV shows, video games.
Yep.
TikTok, all that. It's like it's been glamorized, and it's just normal. Like, oh, it's just normal to walk out of a bathroom and start offing people. Like,
no. It's the same. Well, and that's I was talking to my wife about this yesterday, and mommy's home, sorry, I got distracted. I got a cute little girl come give me hugs. And I made a comment on our group text the other day. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't tell me movies, shows, and video games do not contribute to this. And I know there's many people like I know Kevin plays games. I know Richard plays games. My cousin Josh Hurley, he plays shooting games all the time, and he has no desire to go shoot somebody in the face, right? But the amount of content that people can see and the stuff that they can see and the evil that they can see and the dark web, right? I mean, just the web in general. And that we're seeing that these killers are even younger. Like, you know, it could be mental health for sure, but it could be you are feeling your minds with constant hours of video games of killing and torturing and beating people up in the alley and stealing their car and making them do sexual things to you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we expect this next generation to turn into?
They get shot and they respawn back into the game, and like it's not even real that like, oh, you get shot and killed and oh, you just respawn and you're, you know, back in the game on COD or whatever. Like,
right. It's almost being like a superhero, but you're using those powers for bad. Like, and what empowers that? Having that gun in your hand. Like, everybody doesn't need a gun in their hand,
right?
You know?
Right. And you know, I mean, I kind of feel like an old guy, you know, saying that, you know, it's the movies and it's the video games, but it's like, you know, I mean, dude, if you listen to dark music all the time and depressing music, what's it going to do? It's going to make you depressed, you know? And yeah, I just think if you fill yourself up with, you know, negative energy, and look, I know it's just a game, but even if it's not a game, if you're just watching someone be tortured and you get off by that you enjoy that. I want to know what it's like to make someone beg for their life in front of me. You know how powerful I'd feel? You know how powerful I'd feel if I had them by the fingernails and I could rip right? Like, there are psychos out there, man. There are psychos out there. And listen, it's just too easy, dude. I shouldn't even say this, but I could take my gun and go shoot anywhere right now. I can go to any drugstore or, you know what I'm saying, grocery store and just open fire, and no one's going to, you know, I mean, who's going to know? Like, I mean, it's just, that act is too easy to do, right? To where anyone can do it. And now no one cares. They don't care if they're going to shoot themselves. They're going to kill themselves anyways. So I might as well just go out with a bang. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Now my classmates will know me. Now my classmates will pay attention to me because I'm the psycho kid that they sat next to in second period and they made fun of, you know, or whatever the situation is.
But I mean, that could play into our society, that selfish society that, hey, it's about me. Your life doesn't matter to me. I don't care if Blake has 3 kids at home. I don't care if Jared has his couple kids at home. You know what I'm saying? Your life's disposable. We can get in a petty argument and I can just end it right now.
Right.
Well, that, and like, I mean, there's some of these kids that are growing up now, like, they were exposed to some, you know, these movies and these video games and stuff so early on in their lives that, like, a kid's watching movies they shouldn't be watching at 9, 10, 11, 12.
It doesn't even have to be a movie. Like, we're talking 15-second clips, right? Like, I mean, think like, Jared, like, you sent us a picture of the dude that got shot, right? Like, we've never been able to really have access to that, right? But a couple of days later, you're able to see, and eventually we're going to see video of all this, probably.
Yeah, we're going to see the surveillance of it.
Yeah, without a doubt. And let's be honest, we kind of want to. Right, because it's now we can look inside and see what happened on this crazy day in a city very close to us.
And then it gets glorified.
Yeah.
And then people feed off of that and they're like, hey, I want to make that record. I want everybody to remember our name for this, right?
Right. Yep. I know, man. It's I don't know. You know, it's sad. It's sad that we have to keep. You know, I need to get my wife to turn her van off. Can you guys hear her car?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I was like, man, it sounds so loud.
But then, I mean, even that same night, somebody went to a vigil in a park, shot and killed somebody, and
was
shot.
Was the vigil for the same thing?
No. It was in Beach Grove. It was in a
park. I was just wondering if the vigil was for the people at the mall.
No.
Okay.
No. So, I mean, that happened. And then there was, I mean, last night at a shopping center in Castleton, a 3-year-old toddler was in a parking lot. Someone hit and ran, killed the little boy, the 3-year-old, and drove off. They have no
Clue who hit him.
they have
No clue who it was.
And this person just ran over a 3-year-old little boy and drove off.
No regard for life.
It's tough, man. You know, and then, you know, I mean, that was the other thing I was kind of thinking about the Greenwood thing, where it's like, is it even a big deal? Like, I don't even feel like, I mean, of course it's a big deal, but I don't even feel like people react to it.
No, because it's so numb by it. It's normal.
Exactly.
And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that way. Like this should be like,
yeah.
You know
it's like it's like mass shootings. They ain't cool anymore. You know, like stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the way to go out anymore.
Happen a day in the United States.
What'd you say?
There's 2 to 3 that happen a day in the United States.
Really?
Oh, really? See, we don't even hear about them. We don't even hear about it, man. That's the thing. And that's what I was wondering is how far did this news travel?
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
It traveled pretty far. I mean, it made national news, but then it also died really quick because he really didn't. I mean, 15 seconds and homeboy was loading him full of lead. I mean, like, so there's not a lot to report, but
right.
And just think if this 20-year-old kid, I mean, not to say he wasn't smart, but like if he didn't do that at 6 o'clock at closing time at the mall, there would have been 5 times as many people in that area.
Yeah.
It was at 3 o'clock.
My best friend was there, and he's like, and my best friend was there. They ate dinner, and so they thought there was like a fight outside because everybody was coming. Didn't think of nothing of it, and then like the mall intercom comes on and says like everybody has to evacuate or something like that. And just imagine, like I'm just imagining what he went through. Hey, he has a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do without a gun? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can't. I'm vulnerable.
But see, I mean, dude, like that's the point. Like that's why people want to carry, because it's like we live in a world now where there are crazy people that are willing to do crazy things. So it's like I mean, it goes back to where like the guy, the guy becomes a major hero because he was carrying, B, he knew how to handle it. Right? Mm-hmm. He immediately turned himself in. He cooperated with the cops. He kept his name silent, which was, I think, the smartest thing to do. And that actually leads into another question. What Nika actually brought this up. She goes, if you were him, would you have let the news release your name?
No.
No?
Because I don't know who the other guy knew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
I don't want to be made into like the what was that one guy, Kyle Rittenberg, who was who shot
Rittenhouse,
yeah, who shot and killed, and he became this like Republican. Like, I know this kid's not trying to do that and like driving across lines to go to rallies and stuff like that. But at the same time, he doesn't want this. Same thing when I hit the Mega Millions for $555 million tonight. You're not going to know that I hit it. I'm not.
Excuse me. Oh, Jared just signs out of our group chat. He's no longer friends with those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll slide you a quick 500.
Yeah,
you better.
Personality-wise, I don't want to be known for that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Well,
it's going to be tough enough for him even if nobody knows his name, it's going to be tough enough that he has to just continue on with the rest of his life.
Taking lives.
Knowing that he did that, even if it was for good, and it saved multiple lives, there were still 3 lives that were lost, not by any fault of his own.
Right.
Because he had to do that
Right.
And
I mean,
you're still taking someone's life.
Because
And
I
that,
guarantee he didn't go to the mall that day thinking,
no.
yeah, I'm gonna take somebody's life today.
No, of course not. Of
No.
course, and that, yeah, but then again, it's like, you're. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Dang it! I had something. You were saying something. I was on feed off of it, and I just totally lost it.
Buddy was prepared. He obviously was prepared.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like, if he's not there, though, there's a lot more lives lost, right?
Yeah.
And then
Sure.
this conversation is the same conversations that we've had, right? Is like, well, we need better protection. There should have been somebody there to handle the situation or take care of the situation quicker, right? The police station, the whole freaking department, right? Like in Texas, like that was a disaster, and all we did was criticize how it needed to be protected better. Right. But in this situation,
but it's more of a multifaceted. There's not one. It's not a one drop is gonna fix everything. This is
multifaceted.
It's too big.
Cases need to be secured better.
Yeah.
Right.
Guns need to be harder to be able to get into people's hands, no matter which way you cut it.
Yes.
It's not trying to take guns away from people, because we know that's never going to happen, but it does need to be more difficult for people to obtain them.
Yes.
Whether we like it or not, rather which side of this you stand on. You can't stand and say that the current bloodshed and the current rate at which people are just gunned down is acceptable.
Doing nothing is not going to help the situation. Doing nothing is not going to help the situation at all.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like this isn't new anymore.
Yeah.
This is reoccurring.
You keep doing the same thing and getting the same result.
The mall reopened today. What did they do? What did they do any different? What did
nothing. I get probably nothing.
Yeah.
And I man, it's just tough, dude.
You could also say, what could they have done? What could they have done different? He just walked in there with a backpack with 2 guns broken down. You wouldn't have known he was.
What kind of guns were they? Do we know?
He had a rifle and a handgun,
5.58, and then
we're also lucky. Like, there's not a semi-automatic. You know what I'm saying?
They were.
Were they?
They were very careful in their press conference. The police chief slipped up one time and called it assault rifle and quickly corrected and called it a long gun or a rifle. He was very quick to not call it.
Like, I don't know the full description. Like, did this guy just have the perfect angle? Because I mean, this could have went the wrong way as well.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they said that this kid didn't have any type of training. Just the same argument that we use that video games and these shooting up games, could have led to this guy walking in here and doing this. It also could have been a way that this 20-year-old kid that shot him learned how to
do it. Yeah,
to do it, because he had no military or police training. But they said he acted perfectly how a police officer, but he also, just how a police officer and people are trained to not have collateral damage or, when trying to
minimize
the bad guy, not shoot,
and just keep
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's fortunate too.
It happened, but at the same time, maybe it just so happened that, I mean, they said he was at the cookie stand, which I'm not.
Oh, really?
I haven't been at the Greenwood Park Mall in a long time. I know where the bathroom is, and I don't know where the cookie store is in reference to that. But him and his girlfriend were buying cookies or getting cookies, and this guy walked out, and I assume that he just kind of probably had to walk around a corner or something.
Dude. No, if he's by the cookies and he's literally on the opposite side of the bathroom, so he's kind of closer to like where you get to.
But they say he's 40 or 50 yards away, or 40 or 50 feet away, which
So if that's the case, I almost wonder if he ran towards him or if he literally shot him from that far away. If so, sign this dude up. Like
20 seconds.
that's,
I mean,
yeah, I mean that's so impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like I was wanting to go back on rather, if you would release your name or not. It's like that is tough, right? Because your life becomes two different ways. You could be the guy that no one knows, but people are going to find out, right?
Yeah.
Or you become the guy that comes out and then honestly, it's probably going to lead to a bunch of opportunities, probably going to lead to interviews. It's probably going to lead to attention that you may or may not want. And it's probably going to lead to hate. There's going to be somebody,
but at
that
the
hates
same time, like, I mean, like, honestly, if depending on how he handles dealing with the fact that he did this and shot and killed this guy, he might make for a good cop. I don't know, but like,
yeah,
or a lot, something. You could lead it very many different ways, but obviously, how you deal with that trauma, and everybody deals with trauma and these type of
right, because you got to also think of that too. Like, hey, he's probably hasn't even slept.
Yeah, he can't. He can't. He carries that weapon always. Just in case, right? And I'm sure he's played it out in his head, just like any of us have. Rather if we get in a fight or whatever, right? How we think it's going to go. He probably played that scenario out in his head 100 times. I would like to think. I would love to hear that he trains and that he takes it serious, and that's why he does. Like that's what I was kind of telling my wife. It's like, wouldn't it be great if like that's how gun owners were though? Like when you saw somebody with a gun, you knew they go through specific training, they go through specific licensings, they go through all these protocols. There's been background checks. So if you do see somebody in a food court and he's got a gun on his hip, like that's a guy that's like, well, I know he's trained. I know he's, right? I mean, you don't know. I know. I mean, he could be a psycho too.
Text, like, I just want to feel comfortable that, hey, if you have a gun that you went through some kind of training protocol, or like, and it doesn't even have to be training or protocol. I just want to know that you're going to register your weapon and like somebody knows you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have this.
Well, and this.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like I've honestly never wanted to own a gun. And I don't. And this is coming from somebody who in my 20s was held up at gunpoint at a restaurant.
Dang.
And from that, I then became that taught me and made me a more observant person just of the goings around in my area and what was going on, looking at doors, looking at people, looking at what they're doing to kind of like signal, and to be on top of it. Because, when I played it back in my head, when I did, get a gun shoved in my face and, for $46, like, I mean, I wasn't really scared and I wasn't really afraid. I had been through, growing up working in the restaurant industry, you're taught and you kind of like get shown and get presented with those situations a lot. Either in training or just like upset customers. And so like, I mean, but then when it actually does happen, it kind of like kicks in. The training kind of like kicks in, and you just
avoid the situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the situation, and I knew the quickest way to get him out was to give him money, and I gave him a stack of ones. The guy got $46 between two registers at an Arby's at 56 in Georgetown. So like,
you're rich.
Yeah. And he got caught 4 days later robbing what's that breakfast place? I can't remember. It was
Sisters.
No, it's It's out by the exit at like 71st and
Yeah, I don't.
Look, late Pete.
yeah, Lapete.
The Pete.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At Sunday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, and came running outside, and there was a cop sitting in the parking lot. And he got
Mhm.
nabbed, and I picked him out of a lineup, and he was wearing a bandana. So
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean,
so like that situation then made me be more observant of my the goings on around me, and ever since I've always been, when I'm in a public place or in a public situation, I am looking at where the exit is. I'm looking at what's going on. What are those people doing? Could a situation pop off and, like a group of teenagers or 20 somethings get into a fight and then it turn, like
yeah.
I look and look at that stuff, and just kind of like, when I'm out in public, if you ever watch me, I'm people watching, but I'm
I do that
I
too.
do now, because then my career, I took, and then I went into retail and managing gas stations, and so then I had to look and watch people to see if they were going to steal from me, if they were going to rob me, whether it was an employee or a customer.
So
And then I got a job at the bank, and
whose dog?
mine,
Not mine this time.
put it back in his
Dang.
But anyway, so then I got a job at the bank, and you go through a lot of robbery training. And one time a guy came into my lobby, and I could just tell something was off, and I was standing right at the front door. And I'm not a small guy by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not big either. And this guy was bigger than me, and he I just was talking to him and questioning him, and he kind of was like, and he was fumbling, and then he was like, I forgot something in my car. And guess what he did? He went and got in his car and drove to the nearest chase, the nearest chase from where I was, and robbed them.
Wow. But once again, but that's just a simple example, right? Like someone greeted him at the door, right? And just, and I know a lot of banks have, like that was back to my example earlier, I mean, banks have security, but anyway, beside that, so are you guys, I try to live my life where it's like, I know this stuff's going on, but I'm not going to stop living. I'm not going to let this idiot, right? Like this incident keep me from still going to malls or going to stores or whatever.
Well, I mean, Blake, that's kind of like the faith that all of us was raised in. Like, hey, if it's my time, this is my time. Like, I can't stop. Like, you're not gonna put a damper on me. You're not going to ruin my day. Like, I have to keep living. Like, the day that I go is the day that I go. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm kind of in the middle between you and Jared. Like, I think that you probably should have a gun for home defense and to protect your family. But like, at the end of the day, all you can do is all you can do.
Yeah.
Like, when that day comes, it's OV. So like, what are you gonna do? Like, you got to keep going out. Like, the only reason I've been in is gas prices are high and it's summer and people doing stupid stuff. But I'm older, and like I'm not gonna buy into the riffraff. I'm still gonna do what I want to do.
I mean, I'm not gonna stop going places. I'm not gonna stop doing stuff out of fear.
I don't go to the mall anyway.
Yeah,
right.
But I mean, like, I just feel like I don't know who wins, but if I, just kind of hunker down and, be a turtle and go in my shell, like, I'm not going to do that. But I mean, maybe that me as more of a social person, but at the same time, like, I just feel that, like, I'm not going to live my life in fear. I mean,
right. I think that's been my biggest thing. I mean, even, and I've kind of expressed it too, where it's like, a lot of parents are afraid to let their kids play in the front yard, You know, like
Yeah.
that is
Understandably so.
that is
Yeah.
very, but, and I always make this argument. We say that, but every freaking house in our neighborhood has a camera, right?
Yeah.
Like we are more protected and seen ever now.
I get it though, but like even I've watched videos
The camera's
of
not stopping
just
anybody.
people like the camera's not stopping anybody, dude. Like
But we'll get license plates, we'll get car information. You know what
I
I'm saying? Like
understand,
there's,
but if your kid's going in that, that's all
okay.
you got.
But here's my thing, and I've said this before. I get it. I know it can happen. And
Yeah.
we only know it happens as much as it does because of social media, right?
And
But in
because
all
of cameras.
reality, but in all there you go. But in all reality, it's not like it's happening every single day in one of our neighborhoods. So we have put this fear all over our kids, you know, that
No,
the
we
front
put the
yard
fear,
is
we put the fear in ourselves, so that's why we do it to our kids. Like
I
we
don't
like
think
to
it's
say
just-
we're not.
I mean, like, I don't think I do it necessarily out of fear. I'm trying to instill and teach my children to be aware of their surroundings and to not get so lost in hanging out with their friends that they're not cognizant that the same guy has been in the same, you know, like has followed them up every aisle at Target.
That's all. Yeah, that's all understandable. That's parenting from all generations. You know what I'm saying? It's look out for weird people and, you know, be aware of that. But I just wonder if we are almost raising a generation of, I'm not going to say like shelled, like kids like in a shell, but like, you know, like how personable are they going to be? How trustworthy are they going to be of other people when it's just all this negative energy and negative people and people are bad and you can't trust your neighbor and you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if it's always been like that, you know, to, you know,
I feel like it has. How did we get here?
but I've never been afraid to talk to a neighbor.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? No. Like you're my neighbor now. Like you're part of my community now. Like we're supposed to be friends. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, I got a couple neighbors that are sketchy.
Yeah.
You know, or not sketchy, but you know, it's just something, I guess. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird time. I mean, honestly, I mean, it's such a divided, you know, time that we live in, and it's just, you know, how do you teach your kids to, you know, be prepared for everything? You can't, but you want to.
Yeah. How do you even tell them how to be a person? You know, especially with all the different, you know, ideologies that's been thrown at them, you know, through school. And, you know, it's kind of like what I was saying earlier. It's just like, you know, the stuff that a kid can see on a 15-second video can completely change their ideology forever. You know what I'm saying?
Or the stuff that they can see on the phone in general.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just a snap of a finger. You know, while mommy and daddy's not looking.
Yeah.
You know, and I almost wonder if that is a harder thing for boys than it is girls.
Why is that?
Like, how many boys at the age of 10 would Google how to make a bomb compared to girls, right? Or, you know, maybe look at something sexually, or looking at someone getting murdered, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, search those deep, dark things. I'm sure there's maybe some women out there, but
I mean, us growing up, it was much harder to get a hold of all that stuff. That stuff wasn't as easily prevalent. I remember getting the VHS of, and you guys will remember this, Banned from TV.
Yeah.
You know, and then they started making Banned from TV 1, 2, and it was
I
on
think
that.
I think those are the dudes that made Girls Gone Wild too.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And like you saw that stuff, but like there was nowhere, even in the young days of the internet, there wasn't a lot of places where you could go and get that stuff. Now, I mean, in 30 seconds I can. I mean,
Your
I just
dog's
happened
killing
to
me.
Scroll across somebody and goes, I felt nothing when I saw the Greenwood shooter laying there dead, and I clicked on the Twitter, and just below it was the
See,
picture.
First of all,
looking for it.
First of all, your dog's killing me.
I know.
Second of all, I felt a lot when I saw that picture.
I didn't even really look at it. I like glanced at it and I was like, I'm good.
Because that's a sad dude, right? Like what happened to that kid? Like what, like, how do you get there? How, I always say that. What are the steps? How do you get to the point in your life at the age of 20 when your life hasn't even started, dude? Your life hasn't even started, right? I mean, it really hasn't. He's still so young, you know?
I applaud you for at least having that feeling, because you know what the feeling I had?
Fill his face with bullets. Really?
I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel bad for him in the least, because I knew what he did. And
right.
And I applaud you for doing that. And then I think about it and go, yeah, you're right. Like,
because
how did he get here? What happened in his life? What was so wrong that was the solution to any problem?
Yeah.
That's not a solution to anything.
No, it's not. And it's a way to end your life, and it's, it's suicide, or potentially. And then you're it's the most selfish act in the world. Like I shouldn't have empathy for him. Like, I really shouldn't. But I think there's part of me that has empathy for everyone, right? Because it's just like, dang, man, like, I've made choices in life completely different than that dude. Like how, that's me, right? I just always want to know how do you get to that point when because he sat in that bathroom, bro, for a whole hour thinking, what am I doing?
Oh,
am I doing this? The demons are talking to him. The demons are talking to him, dude. Yeah. They're in his head saying, bro, you're worthless. No one loves you. No one loves you. Go do it, bro. Go do it. You're going to be a hero, right? I mean, that's where I'm like, God, dude, like, ooh, it's just hard. It's just hard to, like, put yourself in that dude's shoes, and then obviously then he puts damage. Like, he wants to put so much damage into other people's lives and ruin other people's lives, right? That, like, he hates himself so much that he wants to kill others before he kills himself.
You know what? I think, I mean, and obviously this is pie in the sky type thinking, but like, and it's not the magical bullet, but like, I think that kid he lacked self-esteem to be able to, like, just to have those thoughts that you just, that we're hypothetically thinking, but like, to be and maybe, like, all of us as parents instill in our kids to have a strong self-worth and self-esteem.
Yeah.
And
who knows?
Not worry what people, how many likes they get on a TikTok video or YouTube.
It's a narcissistic world.
That has no bearing in or on your life. And
it could have nothing to do with any of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't heard too much about, like, anything from his parents, but I do believe I heard that they're beyond shocked. They had no clue that they're right. So to me, that's the scary part, is that
there was no warning signs at all.
So back to that conversation, when it comes to who should and who shouldn't be able to buy a gun, that same insane person could have a background check. He could do all the training. He could have all the registrations, and it doesn't matter. If he loses his mind or wants to do harm, he's going to do harm. And if he can't do it with a gun, he'll do it with a car. He'll do it with, hey, my cat, she's outside. What's up, cat? Sorry.
But what we're trying to do is bring the percentages down, because it's half and half. And like you said, it's a small percentage. If we can lower the percentage down, we're doing something.
But then again, if we do that and everyone's passing with flying colors, but it still happens, then the system has to be even stricter. Then you can only have so many guns. And then that just becomes a rights issue, right? You're now not allowing me to protect my family with as many guns as I want. I think some of it's a little extreme, having 27 guns.
Why
But
you need 50 guns?
well, for one, they are investments. I have heard people talk about that. You can sell them, and I mean, we both know Greg. Kevin. I mean, he collects guns. He just told me he was up, just had 300 more rounds delivered to my house. I'm just like, what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
Like,
what are you preparing for?
How many do you need?
That's the part that I don't get. But I'm not a gun hobbyist though either.
Right, and that's the other thing. It's people's hobby. So
Yeah, but at the same time, both of you know this guy, and I basically know about him just from your guys' conversation, and I have no worries that he's ever going to walk into anywhere and start shooting up the place. I have no worries that would happen.
Yeah. You really don't have that. Yeah, you really don't have that worry about the guy that just loves the collection of guns.
Yeah, but I honestly think that, like everybody also says, the criminal's going to get guns, or the criminals are going to get their hands on it some kind of way. I honestly think that they're not going to do the work behind it to keep registering and going through a process like the people that actually own and collect guns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, you're probably right, but once again, all it takes is just being able to get one gun, or
absolutely.
a freaking grenade. I mean, I don't know how hard it is to get a grenade, but you know what I'm saying?
Grenades,
yeah. Step your game up. Where's that at?
Where's the lasers?
God, I shouldn't even say that. That's so bad, dude.
Man, get canceled because you influence somebody.
Oh Lord, yeah. The one crazy listener that we have that we don't know from New Zealand or wherever he's from.
Blake told me to do it.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it's definitely it's not fun. Not fun to have to.
We keep having this conversation and like something has to like it's just so normalized. Like I still feel like that I was feeling the same way. Not totally what Jared was feeling like. It was just normal to me just to see, like, and even just to hear about it. Like,
I mean,
it doesn't shock you anymore.
To hear about the news, but then it wasn't to make the rounds with, obviously all of us grew up or have ties to the South Side, and to have to make the rounds of everybody that we know that lives near there, and to, like, granted, a lot of people, like I saw Jason Fry, his wife and kids were there. He wasn't. The kids were there when it happened, and they were like out in the parking lot or something, I think. So, I mean, but like I checked on my brother. I checked on my My brother lives 5 minutes. He lives at Shelby and County Line. So like it's like I got family all down there. So like that wasn't like, like going, okay, who?
Yeah, it's tough, man. We can wrap this up. We've probably, talked this, to the grave or whatever. It sucks that we have to keep bringing it up. It sucks that we have to keep having, even, text messages, conversations about it or debates. 'Cause it's just, like I said, it's kind of go back on what I was saying earlier. It's like, you know what? It's a thing. Unfortunately, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So
it's normal.
Now we have to do something. We obviously make the gun laws harder, and then add more security, man. Like, I mean,
pass laws.
I hate it
so that malls and churches and places have to provide, security.
Hey, my church is loaded with cops, dude. because I think about it all the time. Anytime I'm at church, I'm like, dude, this would be an easy. But actually, I was actually thinking about it because where it's located, it's really not a great location to do such a shooting. If you're trying to make it out alive, But yeah, we got probably 5 or 6 people at least that I know of, roaming that place at all times and looking after the building. So, but listen, hey, that's what it takes, right? That's what it takes. It sucks, but that's what it takes.
After 9/11, guess what? They passed laws and created agencies to protect the airports better and change different things.
Yeah.
Like it's not fiscally profitable to do it, but if I could only imagine that there were a lot of people at the mall today when it reopened. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
as far as employees and
either employees were too scared to go, or nobody wants to go, hey, let's go grab a cookie, or
yeah. Or I do kind of want to go to the Brooks store because I want to try some running shoes on. So I was actually kind of bummed. I was trying to get there this week.
Don't buy any Brooks to go get in the mud with, though.
No. Well, it's to replace the shoes I'm probably going to destroy in this stupid thing we're doing here in a couple weeks.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I got some hiking shoes that I think that I'm aware.
Who's training?
I am half trained. Yeah, I'm like that too. Jared, I literally told Blake that, hey, dude, I'm just trying to make it through. It don't matter what time.
I hate to say it, but I'm at the point now where it's like I never really trained hard. So I know even now I can't be prepared for it. I'm probably going to throw up. I'm probably going to get really bad cramps. I know for sure I'm going to get cramps.
Cramps is going to happen. Yeah, cramps.
Especially in the upper body. I get it now just trying to scratch my back, and I'm not joking. Like I've been taking magnesium, so I'm hoping that helps. But there are some things I'm nervous about, but I just keep telling myself, like, just go have fun. Like, I think we're all in the same mindset of like, we're just going to go play in the mud. If we can't climb this stupid net, we're not going to.
I'm probably going to play basketball. I like afterwards or during, like if I'm not playing a game, I'll do some push-ups and, like some different arm stuff just to kind of, but like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
3 miles. I could friggin' crawl 3 miles if
no, you couldn't. No.
I walk.
There's gonna be some light jogging.
Yeah. I just get more disappointed in myself that I can't be disciplined enough to fit it in my schedule every day, because I usually enjoy it when I'm doing it. 3 or 4 days a week. Yeah, that's where, and then when I am doing it, I just can't wait to quit. Right? Like it is. And I hate it. Like it's a weakness, and I think about the tougher. I'm like, I'm going to be so mad when I'm running in this stupid Tough Mudder and I can barely pick up my legs because I didn't prep.
Well, you know what? I mean, our fearless leader didn't do us any favors because he picked our go time dead up in the middle of the day at the hottest point of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I would have rather had to get up early and start at 9 o'clock.
Get that crap over with.
Yeah. Well, then to start at 12:30 unless it's just a rainy day.
God, I hope
sun's going to be as high in the sky.
If it's raining, it's going to be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably because of the mud.
The obstacles are already going to be slippery. You have the rain, like you're just going to be just miserable.
I pray to God a tornado comes through and we don't have to go. I swear to God, dude. I don't want to be sore. Yeah. I don't want to go through this at all. Dude, my knees. I did some squats yesterday and I woke up today and my knees were on fire, dude. And I really haven't done anything in like the last couple of weeks because my knees hurt so bad. And dude, my knees today have just been hurting so bad. So I can't even imagine how I'm gonna feel after this.
Yeah.
And then I gotta go to my daughter's birthday party.
Yeah.
Hey, but we're gonna come together.
We're gonna get to it.
We're gonna go to it, and then our reward's gonna be going to see Bert Kreischer in October.
Heck
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
That's something we can thank Richard for.
Yeah, that's gonna be tight. I'm excited for that.
Hey,
When
I
you
was
tell Rich we're gonna do something, man, he's bam.
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. That's the one thing I love about our boy Rich. When he says, "Hey, there's an opportunity. Do you want to do it?" He wants an answer within 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it's bought. And then it's bought within 6 seconds. like
Sounds like you're doing
it's
it.
like,
Then you're
he's already got the tickets in the cart, the price. He sends it to it. I love it. We love you, Rich. We appreciate it.
You gotta make a decision now. I guess I'm doing this.
Yep. So we're gonna hit up some Burt Kreischer, some a comedy
He got
show.
some floor seats to see the beer gut and the nipples.
No, I
Yeah.
can't wait.
We
Yeah.
probably get some belly button sweat on us.
Dude, Bert's killing it.
Hey, I just wanted to you guys. Have you noticed how many good comedians are starting to come to Indy now? Just the entertainment in general.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been going to Fort Wayne too. Apparently
Yeah.
there's a big
in Evansville.
yeah. Schaub was just at Fort Wayne.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, he said it. He was talking about it on his podcast today. He said it was awesome. He said he really enjoyed it. But anyways,
Andrew Schultz.
yeah,
he's.
I've been following him for a while. He's pretty good.
Well, you heard about his special. He did he recorded a special and then he sent the finished version to the streamer. He didn't say who it was. I assume it's Netflix.
Yep.
And they said, "Oh, you got to take this joke out or this part out. You got to edit this." And he said he took his life savings and purchased it back, and now he's selling it on his website.
Yep.
And he's like, I hope it's a good decision.
Yep.
But all the
And
clips I've seen are hilarious.
And it's smart because
Kevin,
these I went to the intro. We're still recording. This is After Hour with Two Honks and Kevin featuring Jared Payton. Richard is alive somewhere in the woods. It's actually an interesting thing to talk about because God dang it, my train of thought tonight.
He said it wasn't even about the money; it was just about principle, pretty much.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. These guys have built their own fan base.
Yeah.
Right. So who cares if random people on Netflix see it? If you've got 500,000 followers and 200,000 of them spend $17 to buy it, like that might be all you need. I mean, it's 400,000. I mean, Andrew Schultz probably gets $1 million at least from Netflix, but he doesn't own it.
But the exposure of people who've never heard him
would help in Netflix.
Would help, yeah.
Right. But I also understand that these are your fans. This is who you speak to, and just let that word spread. And it's still gonna be hard for people to come off that $17-$20 or whatever it ends up being, But and I mean, I haven't bought it, and I kind of listened to some of his stuff, but I'll just wait until he. It's going to eventually be released free on YouTube.
Yeah,
so I'm just kind of
give it.
But at the same time, it's like I've seen some pretty risque stand-up bits by very well-known guys, and it's like, what he can't make an abortion joke.
Exactly. It's silly that people get it. I mean, look, they're comedians. It's what their job is to take a subject and try to make it funny to where you go, oh, dude, you can't say that, but you still laugh. Like that, because you understand where it's like Dave Chappelle, dude, like the stuff that he got into with the whole transgender thing, like that that bit was to show respect to his friend who was a transgender that died. And in throughout it, he made fun of himself and he made fun of her and him, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? It just, it's silly. All right, I'm going to end it. We can keep talking, but that's it. See you, everybody.
And then